Welcome back to the Thank You Very Little podcast. My name's Kyle. We're going to try to get some NFL picks in this week. If you remember in our first episode, I had mentioned a system that we use. It's called reverse line movement. The whole premise behind it is essentially try to figure out what the casino wants you to do and then do the opposite. If I were the house, I would want to maximize my revenue. Why would I give myself more exposure than is necessary unless I was pretty sure that I was on the winning side, right? And again, no matter how smart we are, no matter how much football we watch, no matter how much we pay attention, no matter what our buddies' tips are, we read the hot sheets or the local press or whatever the hell we read, we're never going to have the information that these insiders get, right? Like William Hill and all these big books and the FanDuels and the DraftKings of the world, you don't think they have beat reporters that are just being paid to give them feedback? You don't think they know who's cheating on their wife or who's in the doghouse or which guy's off his steroid cycle this week or whose baby toe got fractured and they're not freaking telling anybody on the injury report because they want to play? We're never going to know that stuff. We got jobs, we're running podcasts, and me in particular, I'm an idiot. And I'm pretty arrogant, but I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know more than billion-dollar corporations when it comes to insider information or knowing what's going on in a locker room. So this system is the best way that I have found to put myself in a situation to win 60%. The reason that I don't win bets is because it's Sunday night and I'm bored and I just throw everything I won off my system plays on I got some hair up my ass about a pick that I thought was going to win. And of course it never does. And I give away all my profits. Then, I feel bad about myself the rest of the night. But on this podcast, we're just going to simply stick to the system. We're going to track the wins and losses. And then in this short little video, I'm going to explain the reason why I like these 5 picks that are coming up. All right, first up, we have got the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. Okay, so take a look at this thing right here. So you got the Bears. They open at -5.5, -108. 57% of the bets are on the Bears. First of all, it's the third biggest city in the United States of America. They have the hottest quarterback that has been faltering, right? Caleb Williams was supposed to be the second coming. He's been a bum. He's doing too many interviews. He's painting his nails. He's not focused on things that matter. I don't know if he's reading a playbook. I don't know what the hell the kid's doing, but the expectations are very, very high. They're a huge public darling. They're always going to be the Joe Public favorite. And the Panthers are terrible on paper. Nobody believes in Andy Dalton. Why on earth would I believe in Andy Dalton on the road? I don't personally. But then again, what I know does not matter. Why would a casino, William Hill, Vegas, they're all synonymous, right? Why would anybody with exposure make it easier to bet a team that they already have too much exposure on? Right? Does that make sense? If it goes from 5.5 down to 4, it is now easier to bet on Caleb Williams and the Bears. That scares the hell out of me. I don't want to take any of the bait from Vegas. I don't want Vegas saying, hey, come on in here, man. It's warm. He's going to pick it up. He's just a slow starter. He's a late bloomer. He's whatever the hell you want to call it. Vegas just kind of thinks he's a bum. So pick number 1 this weekend. We're going to go Carolina Panthers +4 against the Chicago Bears. Do not moneyline these. These are not moneyline picks. We are always taking the points or giving the points or whatever. So just remember, this is the Panthers +4. Now, pick number 2. We're going to switch over here to the Colts. I live in Indianapolis. We drafted a friggin' tight end number 4, for God's sakes. This poor Anthony Richardson kid is just the nicest, most likable. He's doing Make-A-Wish Foundation shit, and he jumps high, and he looks good, and he plays well, and he's an athlete. He's a tight end playing quarterback, okay? We got Joe Flacco, who was hotter than hell last week, who brought him back from the depths of hell and won a big game. Everybody in frickin' Indianapolis is high on their horse. Are we getting AR5 back? Are we not getting AR5 back? Is Joe Flacco this underdog story? Can he do with us what he did for the Browns a couple of years ago? Blah, 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 right? Well, look at the line. 59% of the bets are on the Colts. It opened at +2.5. That means that when it opened, a field goal, you lose. Why would they got 60% of the bets on one side? Why would they make a field goal a push? Do you know what that does to the psychology of like your average bettor? Your average bettor is looking at this thing going, the Jacksonville Jaguars are terrible. Friggin' Sunshine down there has got almost identical stats to frickin' Danny Dimes up in New York. And we all know he's terrible. That guy got crazy eyes and everything's wrong with him, right? Trevor down in Jacksonville, everybody thought he was going to be the next big thing in the NFL. And, he gets really, really good press because he's popular. But, Trevor Lawrence is kind of a bum. Why would you make it easier to bet the Colts? Everybody in the world knows that the Jaguars are terrible. It doesn't make any sense. We will be on the Jags -3. We're going to cover. Here is pick 3. Raiders and Broncos. Now, you're going to notice that we're typically going to be on the small side of the pie chart because we don't want to bet with the public. The public are idiots. The Vegas builds castles off of idiots, right? The first knee-jerk reaction is almost always the wrong one. So look at this. You got the Raiders, right? They're upstart. They're kind of tough. We like their head coach. They're kind of making moves. They're not terrible. Denver Broncos have Bo Nix. Is that kid any good? We liked him at Oregon, but he's a transfer guy, and we're not really sure. He's not Caleb. He's not Jaden. I don't have any idea. Bo Nix has looked okay so far. He didn't really have any offensive weapons of note. It almost kind of feels like it should be a little bit of a pick 'em maybe. Now the Raiders are another monster public darling. So money will always pour in on the Raiders just because they have a bigger fan base than most people. And they definitely have a bigger fan base than the Broncos. 67% of the bets are on the Raiders. They opened at +1, and now you get 2 more points again, so that a field goal is a push. Like you can lose by a field goal and there's no blood against the freaking fighting Bo Nixes? That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to be on the Denver Broncos. We're going to cross our fingers, close our eyes, say a little prayer, and hope for the best. But you tell me what this thing looks like. This looks like Las Vegas is saying, come on, everybody, bet these Raiders. You know what I mean? Just win, baby. We got shoulder pads with the spikes on them. Our faces are painted. Yeah, we're just going to give these idiots an extra 2 points and just beg them to hammer the gold, silver, and black. And we are not taking the bait over here at Thank You Very Little. So we will be on the Broncos as is tradition. Now, we're going to go here. This one's kind of interesting too. We got the Cardinals and we got the Niners, right? The San Francisco 49ers are another public darling, but they're not really like they're not public darling like the Raiders are just popular, the Cowboys are just popular, the Bills and the Bears are just popular. They're just traditional, they just traditionally have great fan bases, right? The Arizona Cardinals don't traditionally have shit. They don't have traditional anything. Larry Fitzgerald's long gone. It's a 2-man show up there. It's Lil Jitterbug Kyler throwing it to Marv Jr. They got Connor still in the backfield, but I like Connor in the backfield, but I'm not like afraid of him or anything. Now you're going on the road. You're going up to Northern California to play probably the best roster in the NFL. They got Pro Bowlers all over the field, every position. And the quarterback, when he's dialed in, is playing at an elite level. Why on earth would it open at 9.5 and drop down to 7? Now I get to bet the 49ers at home and a touchdown pushes. I already think I'm going to blast the Cardinals at home anyway. Now you've dropped it 2.5 points and given me this unbelievable false sense of security where I only have to win by a touchdown. When I already think we're going to blow them out, why wouldn't I just hammer the 49ers? Exactly. It seems too easy. Jitterbug's out there running around playing pretty good football. Marvin Harrison Jr. seems to have stickum on his gloves. The guy catches absolutely every pass you throw his way. You do have James Conner to manage 3rd downs and 2nd downs and keep things in a manageable situation so that Kyler can bootleg out, maybe run for 1st down, short outs to Marv, and then you're always dangerous over the top. You got little Dortch in the slot kind of making things happen. I think this is a huge, huge trap. We will be on the Cardinals +7. This is by far my favorite pick of the week. Oh, boy. Betting against Dak and betting against LeBron are probably 2 of my favorite things in life. Other than a Notre Dame fan like myself, which is why I can exploit these idiots, there is nothing more delusional in the world than a Cowboys fan. They are terrible. They have always been terrible. Jerry Jones doesn't know shit about football. He's Vince McMahon of football. He's branding and he's entertainment. He doesn't know dick about the NFL. I have been convinced of that since he bought the team. He got lucky with a roster. Jimmy Johnson came in there, got some Hall of Famers. They ran the 90s. That was fun. Now it's just Jerry's world and whatever the hell they're doing down there, right? But they sure as shit aren't winning. And they're never going to be successful with Dakota Prescott running the show. But now here's the thing. The Steelers are a monster darling too. I mean, that ain't no slouch. That's the Roonies up there, right? That's the Steel City. That's they got tradition. They got Tomlinson up there kind of doing work. Nobody thinks that roster is really any good. Is Russ Wilson the best? Is he coming back? Is Justin Fields is kind of scrambling around for his life, making some plays? They got a good record. We don't really know what's he throwing to. So why would you have 73% of the bets on the Dallas Cowboys? Open them at a 1.5-point favorite. They're a favorite. 55 essentially percent of the bets are on them, and they drop the damn thing to where they're a dog on the road against Justin Fields in the Steel City. So now at first I had to win by at least a field goal. Now I just have to win the game. And if I lose by a last minute field goal, I mean, as long as the game's not tied and it's not a walk off, I'm still covering. How do you not just hammer the Cowboys? They got CeeDee Lamb. They got all these players. They got this offensive line and this defense. They got Micah. They got all kinds of things. We are hammering. Hammering is subjective. That means different things to different people. Always bet within your means. Don't gamble money that you can't afford to lose. And as I reiterate, none of this is a guarantee. But we will see where we're at on the first 4 games Sunday night. If we are profitable in the first 4, we will take whatever we have won in those 4, and we will roll that over into a big old bet on the Fighting Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is our slate coming up for Sunday. Hopefully the pictures and diagrams and all this good shit help make it a little bit clearer for you guys so that you can understand as we move forward. Like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel here. This is a very common, very popular betting system that kind of puts you in a position to be on the side of the house, which is where you always want to be. So with that being said, good luck this weekend, guys, and we will see you Monday.